On the 32 Thoughts podcast, it was revealed that the Ducks may want to find John Gibson a new home. Could Montreal potentially be a good fit? We'll get into that, plus Montreal claiming Chris Tierney off waivers, and a very, very weird Kirby Dach injury update. So you'll want to stick around to hear that on this edition of Habs Digest. Hello, bonjour, ahoy, and welcome to today's news edition of Habs Digest. I'm your host, Josh Gosse, alongside my co-host, Jesse Poirier. Quickly before we get into the video, as always, reminder to hit the subscribe button and help us get to 5,000. We're not that far away. We just hit 4. 5's pretty close. I know you can help us out with that. Jesse, first topic today. I know we got the Chris Tierney news and some interesting injury updates, but you were listening to 32 Thoughts, and you kind of proposed this to me. Could Montreal be a good home for John Gibson? John Gibson, if you guys don't know, is the starting goalie for the Ducks, has been for years, and he's quite good. Take a look at this quote from 32 Thoughts. With 22-year-old Lucas Dostal ready for more net-minding time, Anaheim will open room for him. They'd like to try now instead of waiting for next season. Stolarz is more obvious than John Gibson, although I think Gibson and the Ducks would love to find a way to get him a new home. Here are his stats for you guys interested. Of course, the last few seasons, just around a 900 save percentage with not a great GAA, but the Ducks have been one of the bottom feeders for the past number of years. Jesse, do you think that Montreal should go after John Gibson if one of these trades becomes available, or do you think that Montreal should maybe stay away for now?
I think for the right price, that in the offseason, we should definitely pull the trigger on this deal. And the reason I feel this way, Josh, is, you look at his contract, $6.5 million for another 4 years, 29 years of age. We're used to playing goalies a little bit more than that here in Montreal, right?
True.
So it's like, but the thing is like you need to pay for a goalie to have a good goalie. Mm-hmm. And what I like is it's not that extreme. It's not that 10 million. It's not that 10.5. But you're still, if you want to get a quality goalie, you need to pay for that. And like you were saying, Josh, John Anderson Gibson is just 2 years removed from being one of the better goalies in the whole of the NHL. Mm-hmm. And, consistently a guy with an average of over, 9.00, it's like on a very bad team, so True. I could see him with a change of scenery, it just being really, really good for him and for us.
That's very interesting. I'm more of the mindset that I feel like it'd be tough to make it work. Yeah, if maybe Montreal can make all the things in the world work, sure, but I do wonder, Jesse, about a couple of things. The main thing being that even on a bad team, maybe it's just morale. In fact, it's probably a bit of a morale thing when you're playing for Anaheim. You're facing all these shots every single night, year after year. Maybe eventually your pep and your step is gone. Maybe a new situation will be great for him. But at $6.5 million, it's not insane for a goalie of his caliber who's shown he's a Vezina-level goalie when he's at his best. But fitting $6.5 million on Montreal right now, especially with some contract extensions coming up, plus maybe looking at getting Pierre-Luc Dubois, I feel like it'd be tough to make things work. And again, with Jake Allen and Sam Montembeault currently in net, would John Gibson really fit the timeline, and would we have to move one of those guys? So I'm a little more on the cautious side of I wonder if Montreal could get it to work, but what do you think Anaheim would want from Montreal in this case? Because I will admit that John Gibson's value is maybe at an all-time low right now.
They're definitely going to want something for salaries to match. That's why in the offseason, hate to bring up his name again, but I think, Josh Anderson, with his contract at the 5.5, they're probably going to want, a high pick, as well, and probably a prospect as well. But for me, it's like, if looking at the value is I'd much rather have John Gibson on my team right now than Josh Anderson. Because looking at the Canadiens, I think that this is one of the positions that we really need the most. I think it's really important, and I'd love to have possibly a combination of a 1A, 1B with Gibson and Montembeault in nets. And just see where that takes us in the future.
Yeah, that's interesting because, I guess goalies could often stay in their prime into the age of 34, 35 years old, which is what Gibson would be in the prime of Montreal's championship window. Of course, at the end of his contract, he'll be, 33, 34. So I think it's an interesting proposal. I think giving up Josh Anderson and maybe a good first might be a bit much. I don't think Kent Hughes would go for that, especially a guy who's really not wanted to trade Josh Anderson in the past. But I'm not opposed to it if the right offer comes around. I just do wonder if that ever would. So in the comment section, though, you guys let us know. Would you trade Josh Anderson and maybe a prospect or a pick for John Gibson from Anaheim? Do you think John Gibson could be a fit in Montreal for the next 3-4 years? We want to hear from you because I think this is interesting. Topic number 2 today. Habs claim Chris Tierney off waivers. So this was the big news in Habs world today. Chris Tierney played for a few teams so far in his NHL career, and while he hasn't been a top tier player or anything, if you look at his stats, it was 3 seasons in a row that was 40 points or 40-point pace in the case of 2019-20, 17 goals in 2017, sure. He's had a bit of a few down years, especially with Ottawa, and then spent a lot of time this season in the AHL. But Jesse, at his price tag, Chris Tierney is a depth center, getting paid only $750K, super easy to fit in on any team, plus he's shown the ability to play the penalty kill. What's your thoughts on Chris Tierney as sort of a fill-in center for Montreal going forward?
I'm really happy about this waiver claim because I think he provides some experience that we sorely need. Obviously, a lot of our injuries play into this, but with over 600 games played, I think he's going to definitely be a value to this team just as a veteran. And then also it's just a low risk move, right? Yeah. And kind of a move that we had to make to kind of insulate some of our younger guys right now. So I think it is the right move, a UFA at the end of this year. So yeah, I'm happy about this pickup.
Yeah, I think so too. And Montreal's center position as of late has really not been strong, especially with Kirby Dach and Sean Monahan being out. We'll get into Dach in a minute. But we've been seeing Jonathan Drouin playing center, Rem Pitlick, Alex Belzile, and having a guy like Tierney, who's been through everything, be able to step in for Montreal. Jesse, I got a really good feeling about this. I got a feeling that he'll be able to gel with his new line mates, and even if he just plays 8 or 10 minutes of 5-on-5, but also fills in a lot on the penalty kill, I think that's extremely valuable. Plus, like you said, that veteran presence around the young guys. I mean, that's kind of exactly what Kent Hughes is going for, right?
That's true. And even going back to his time with the Ottawa Senators, I was always a fan. I thought he's a really smart, safe type of player. So I think that this is exactly the type of move we want to make. Maybe helping the Tankathon a little bit as we're injured, but just kind of insulating a little bit. But no, I'm definitely all for this.
Yeah, me too. I think, like you said, low risk move, only $750K, and he'll be able to fill in some minutes for sure. Final topic. We talked a bit about Kirby Dach. Jesse, this is one of the more interesting injury updates I think I've ever seen. So, if you guys weren't aware, Montreal provided some updates on some injuries today, like Joel Edmundson, Joel Armia. Nothing we weren't, ready to see. I mean, like Chris Weidman too, a weird one. He somehow participated in the Habs skills challenge on Sunday, and then after that, he was injured before Monday's practice, so sometime in between those, he got hurt, and now he's week to week. Who knows? But this Kirby Dach, I'm just going to show it. Forward Kirby Dach won't join the team on the road in Philadelphia. Dach was earlier diagnosed with a non-COVID-related illness that has sidelined him since February 16th. Through the course of further medical evaluation and testing, it was determined that the illness-like symptoms were related to a lower body injury. There are lots of jokes about what that might be, but to take a little more serious note, Jesse, I saw someone saying maybe a staph infection because that's very common among hockey players. Just straight up though, is that one of the weirder injury, news blurbs you've ever seen?
It definitely is, and they're going to need to spill the tea on that just because I feel like it's, kind of giving more questions than answers. I don't think the Montreal media is really going to be too content with that sort of update. It would be interesting just to kind of know what's going on with that. And I get, confidentiality and everything else like that. But it would be nice just to kind of see what's going on with him. And by the way, Josh, what's up with Sean Monahan? We heard that, he was back at practice and now we're not hearing any more updates on him. What's going on with that?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what's going on with him. He's clearly, at this point, I don't think he's going to be able to be moved by the deadline. I mean, I've seen so many videos saying, oh, they're being so weird with Sean Monahan. I think, if you want my honest opinion, I think that his injury troubles have sort of come back, and there's something that might potentially be long-term, but the Habs are maybe trying to downplay it right now. Now, I know that, if they were to trade him and didn't inform the other team, that would be a problem. We actually just recently saw that in the NBA, if you guys follow it. Portland traded a player, but they didn't provide accurate medical information to Golden State, who traded for him. So, anyway, they can't do that. But, Jesse, I got a bad feeling that Monahan's injuries might be worse than we were first told. What do you think?
That's a great point. And it's honestly like the last thing that you want to
Yeah.
hear just because he's been battling through so much. He's shown that when he's healthy that he can really contribute
Yeah.
and be a great player. But you might be onto something when he's just this close to coming back and just these many stutter steps. It's starting to look like, unfortunately, it might be something serious. Hopefully that's not the case.
Yeah, but hey, this is purely speculation. We don't know anything for sure, and I really, really hope I'm wrong. We'll be keeping an eye on Sean Monahan, this weird lower body illness for Kirby Dach, and a lot of Habs' other injury updates. Of course, Cayden Guhle's approaching his time to come back to, still in non-contact, but we'll keep you guys updated on all that. But that'll do it for this news edition of Habs Digest. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. We're almost at 5,000. I consider 4,000 almost at 5,000. So, help us out. Hit that button. It'd be really appreciated. I'm Josh Gosse for my co-host, Jesse Poirier. We'll catch you in the next one.